Most of us are totally used to having tomato, lettuce, onion, kind of those go-to veggie toppings used on sandwiches. But what are some of your outside-of-the-box toppings that you love to put on sandwiches?
Outside of the box toppings, well, I mean, I like. Well, it all depends on what the sandwich is. One of the things that I really like to do is to make some sort of slaw, and it could be a classic slaw that has some cabbage in it, or it could be some other things like some radicchio, or like maybe some grilled lettuces. I actually like charring radicchio on the grill a little bit, and then making a slaw out of it, or even something like jicama, which is a really terrific vegetable that has it's almost it's a root vegetable. It's almost like the cross between an apple and potato. It has the same texture of a potato, but it tastes like an apple. So I like creating things like that have lots of texture, lots of crunch. But it really all depends on the sandwich itself. I'm making a Reuben sandwich today, and one of the things that I teamed up with Hellman's, and one of the things that we found is that a lot of people think that it's just as important on how you build a sandwich as it is, with the ingredients in it as well. So I like creating sandwiches that have crunch, that have flavor, but a contrast of texture is really important. So I thought that your question was really apropos in terms of putting things on the sandwich that are actually going to add texture as well as flavor.
Yeah, I love the slaw idea. I'm a big fan of slaws. Since I'm doing this for all the readers of Babel, I'm sure all the moms would love to know what are a few yummy sandwich recipes beyond PB&J that kids will love.
I get that question all the time, and I think that, without being too specific, I think that we really need to feed kids the foods that we're eating as adults, because when you start making two meals, then you're not going to be able to expose them to the things that they really should be eating, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with like 3 or 4 different sandwiches, like peanut butter and jelly, and then you make them like a sandwich with some chicken fingers on it, and who knows, just really classic kid sandwiches. Doesn't expose kids to better foods. And so, like, I like to do things where you roast a chicken on a Sunday night, and Monday, of course, you have to send your kid to school with a sandwich or some sort of lunch. And so, like, take a leftover chicken and make a really delicious chicken sandwich, a chicken salad sandwich. Take a little bit of mayonnaise and flavor with things that you cooked. So, for instance, like if you cooked a roasted chicken and you used some fresh thyme or some fresh basil while you cooked it, utilize those herbs, put them into the mayonnaise, create a really delicious chicken salad sandwich, and then send your kid to school with it. One of the things I always tell moms is that you want to make sure that you actually use a bread that is going to hold up to a sandwich that's going to have to sit for a while, because otherwise it's going to be soggy and nobody wants to eat that. So, a sandwich for your kids, you want to get a bread that's a little bit crusty, has a little bit of texture to it, so it actually holds up for the rest of the day.
Awesome. And my last question is kind of self-serving. I'm a huge fan of BBP, and
Yes.
I go there all the time with my sister and her kids.
Which one do you go to?
The one in Lake Grove,
Oh,
Long
cool.
Island,
Yeah, sure.
and they love it.
Oh, good.
And I'm actually vegan.
Oh, cool.
And I always get the salad and the sweet potato fries, which are totally awesome.
I'm working on it. I'm working on a veggie burger for you. I'm
You
finally
are?
I'm finally
Yes.
I'm finally going to break down. I wasn't going to do it, but I am, like, the next few weeks I'm going to be in my test kitchen, like, working on it really hard.
Oh, that is so cool. That is great to hear. Fabulous.
Yep. Was that the question?
That was it.
Okay. I knew that was coming, but that's really the truth. I decided actually last night that was going to be my next focus, because so many people have asked about it, and it's really hard to find a good veggie burger, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Right. No,
And
I
so
agree.
I want to come up with something that's really going to really be good. Listen, I mean, I'm always looking for good ideas, sandwich ideas, things like that. And we're trying to encourage people to go to facebook.com/Hellmans. Give me some good ideas about sandwiches. If you have some good veggie burger ideas, that would be cool too. Anything along those lines. It's good to to speak to people sort of in an interactive way when you're trying to come up with good ideas. So I'm all for it.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Bobby. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.